What's up, guys? I just wanted to make this video just to lend my voice and my opinion as to everything that is going on in our country. Most recently, we've had the riots and the protests and the unrest going on in Baltimore. And as a mother of two sons, and I have brothers, I am fearful for their safety. I had a conversation with my husband and we were discussing, well, how do we raise strong, positive, confident black men, but at the same time, they can't be perceived by people who are prejudiced against black people, and right now the police as being smart or uppity or arrogant because they already have one ding against them: they're black. So if the police feel threatened by them or feel like my sons or my brothers are coming off as arrogant or rude or uppity, they have to be fearful of their safety. And I don't want to raise my boys to be a yes sir or a no sir type of person. I want them to stand up and I want them to be proud, but they can't come off as boastful because that threatens, I don't know what it is. It's just they're taken as a threat when they're seen as smart and together. So it's not even a win-win situation. When you raise your boys to be men, the police or whoever are a threat. But then when you have young black men with the sagging pants, they're seen as thugs and they're seen as a threat. So how do we raise our boys? How do we raise our boys to be men and still be safe in the streets? My mom and I were talking and she was like, well, where's all the black leaders? And the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, those are who you see in the spotlight, but those aren't the real leaders. The real leaders are the people in the community that are there, not for publicity, but to really make a change, not for a photo op. And until we can come together as a people, and we can march all day, but we need to take an example from back in the 60s when they did the bus boycott in Alabama. If it wasn't a year, it was almost a year, or it might have been a little over a year. Our people got together and they boycotted the bus line. You gotta hit them where it hurts. And it's all about economics. So when black people can come together and stop spending their money on Jordans and stop spending their money on these expensive cars and trying to keep up with the Joneses, because that's what we do. We like to look good. We like to be fresh. But we need to make an economic stance, an economic statement, say, hey, as long as this continues to happen, we're not going to support your business. Yeah, it's important for us to get out there and vote. You have to vote, and you need to take a part in the democratic policies out there, because our people die for that right. But don't just vote Democrat because that's historically what we've done in the past. Understand the people that are running for these offices and know what they stand for. And it's not just about the presidential elections. It's about those local races, because those are the people that are making the impact on your local level, as far as like your stand your ground laws and carrying guns and just all the different legislations that happen at a state and local level. That's what impacts us the most. So yeah, we need to get out there and vote. And I apologize if I'm rambling. I needed to make this video because I would love to engage in a dialogue and just hear from other people and hear what your thoughts are, but mainly just to get that out. Like, if we don't use our money, if we don't stop spending our money like we do, they're gonna keep crapping all over us, and this is going to keep happening. We know that they don't care about us. Michael Jackson said it. And yeah, I know that's cliche and it was just a song, but it's true. They don't care. And until we learn to come together as a people and stand up for something and stop marching and really start making some real legitimate noise, we out there destroying our own neighborhoods. What good is that doing? That's not the answer. We need to boycott. We need to stop spending our money with these people and let them know that we are serious. And that all starts with coming together as a people. We got to get an agenda. We need to sit down and say, these are the problems. This is what we need to do to fix them. And that's one of the things we need to do. We need to pool our resources, and we need to come together, and we need to show them that we need business. All this rioting and tearing stuff up, it's just, you know, going into the propaganda, because the media's going to they need to portray news that's going to sell. And what's going to sell is all the hype and showing us acting a fool. And then when they do that, it makes other people who don't understand our culture be like, well, that's why, you know, they get treated the way they do. It's so complex. It's so deep. And people say, oh, well, you know, slavery, that was a long time ago. There's slavery, there's Jim Crow, there was segregation. And even though you can't prove racism, it exists. I remember, this was probably about 6 years ago. And yeah, I was speeding on the highway and I got pulled over. But as a female, I knew that I needed to, you know, be cool, be respectful, of course. But I had to tell the officer, and again, it was because I was fearful of what could happen to me. I was like, officer, I'm just reaching over into my glove compartment box to get my registration. Like, that's crazy. I didn't even know that was in my brain to feel that way until I was actually in that situation. And as a female, I shouldn't have to feel like that. As a human being, I shouldn't have to feel like that. And to not even know that it exists until I'm in the situation, like, that's how ingrained this diabolical just whole situation is. I mean, slavery existed all over. It existed in South America. It existed in North America. Racism exists. It's real. And it's hard to prove it. But anybody that has experienced it, you understand what it is. So just, I know I'm rambling, but it's just really, really sad. And I pray every single day for my brother, my brothers, my sons, just my kids in general, because it's scary where this world is headed. We need to start coming together and showing our kids that they matter. I just feel so naive. Like, when I hear stories about kids not being able to eat and depending on school to get a meal, like, that's crazy. This is the United States of America. Why are our children hungry? It's just, this is madness. It's insanity. We need to come together, really, as a people, as a community. We need to really show that we want to make a change. We need to take action, and we need to show our kids that we care and they're important, and we need to stop leading by example. That way they have something to look up to and look forward to. It's just, it's a bad situation. It's a sad state of affairs right now. As an adult, I never imagined as a kid that things would be the way that they are. Here we are in 2015, and situations just, it's just crazy, and it's sad. It's really, really sad. Hopefully maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now, I can look back on this video and be like, wow, it was crazy back then. But we've made some progress. But again, the only way we're going to make some progress is if we start recognizing the true leaders, the true foot soldiers in the communities, and looking to them and get an agenda and pool our money and come together and stop looking to these wannabe celebrity puppets, you know, that's supposedly representing the community, because they're not for the community. They're about the muddy dollar, and they're gonna do what they gotta do for the muddy dollar. That's my opinion. Thanks for listening. I hope y'all can respect where I'm coming from. And like I said, I would love to hear some feedback from you guys, how you feel about the situation, and you know, what are some of the solutions you think could help make the situation better. All right, guys. Peace and love.